Good morning, guys. My name is Phil. Welcome back to Miranda Detailing. So in today's episode, we have this 2011 Cadillac V-Series. Oh, hi! in for our new car prep and ceramic coating. The Technic XO V4. One layer of this will get you up to 2 years. What are you doing? Now she's running away. So the Cadillac is in for our new car prep and ceramic coatings. This thing is pretty trashed. You're going to see how bad the paint really is. You know, for 2011, it has a lot of issues on it anyway, so we're going to try to bring this up to our standard, and the customer is expecting it to look as good as it can be for its age and its wear and tear and some of the issues that it has. You're going to see the washing process, the deconning process. We're going to use some new products from Turtle Wax, hybrid solutions that just came out. They're shampoo for one, and then there are 2 wheel cleaners that we're going to use, and one of them is an iron decon. So I'll have links to those down below if you're interested in those products, and we're going to get to use some of their other products that came out in later videos, so stay tuned for that. Guys, if you're enjoying videos like this, and I hope you are, consider subscribing and clicking that bell so you don't miss stuff. So today, we're going to use a lot of the new Hybrid Solutions Pro products. This is their Slick and Slide Pure Wash. Now it says polymers. That is for the lubricity. This stuff is super slick, super foamy, but it does not leave anything behind. It's a pure wash. There's no gloss enhancers or anything like that. So don't get confused by the polymers here. It's not the type of polymers that are protection type polymers. They are lubricating type polymers. Think of like Optimum No Rinse. That can actually clean really well because of the technology that's in it, but it has polymers. But it's for the slickness, the lubricity. So we're going to mix maybe about 2 ounces of that in here. I already have a little bit in here from a prior wash that I put about 2 ounces, so maybe I'll just add 1 ounce to this and fill about 16 to 18 ounces of water. I'm going to eyeball this because it's really not that big of a deal. I found that this stuff foams so well. Just a glug or 2 like that. Maybe that's even half an ounce. I don't know. But I don't worry about it because it's such a nice soap. Give it a little spin. We're good to go. So as you can tell, it's chilly out. We have our buckets of hot water ready. We have our hot water pressure washer ready. And make sure everything is turned on. Turn off that. Good to go. Let's get her washed and deconned. I didn't know that. Here we go. The wheel cleaner. This is the iron decon or the rapid decon. So we'll use this for the wheels. In fact, I usually rinse the wheels. This is optional. This is up to you and your method, but I usually do like to rinse the wheels. That way it gets the majority of the junk off, and then you can spray your wheel cleaner or iron decon. But just for demonstration purposes, let's spray it on now just to see the reaction. And I will also use the hyper foam on the tires, and then you can use this on the wheels also. I'm just using it on the tires for now. You can already see the reaction. Check that out, guys. Now the purple here is just the color of the hyper foam. That's not a reaction. But whoa, that's amazing. Great. This stuff reacts very fast, even in cold weather. Usually iron decons we've experienced in colder weather take a little bit longer to react, but man, this stuff is like 5 seconds or less and it's reacting. So it does have a cleaner in it as well. It is cleaning and removing the iron decon particles. You can spray this on the paint as well. With black paint, I know there's a controversy here. With black paint, I will usually just wash it and clay bar it. I don't worry about chemical decon. As long as the paint is clean and smooth, we'll polish it, we'll coat it, we'll wax it, we'll seal it, whatever. And I know some are going to say, well, the iron decon particles are still on there. You need that for proper bonding of whatever type of protection. There's an argument to be made there because detailers in the past did not have to use iron decons and they were just fine. So I don't buy into that. I do it on lighter color vehicles, on white vehicles, because one, you can usually see the iron particles on there. You know, you see the reaction more. Yeah, they might still be on here, but you're not going to see it. It's more of a visual thing. It's not necessarily going to affect protection. It's not. Seen it, we've experienced it, it's totally fine. You can even skip the iron decon step and just clay bar and polish and you'll be fine. So don't get caught in that. It's a nice tool. It's an excellent tool to use. So use it when needed, but yeah, look at the reaction on the tires. It really pulls off a lot of junk. You can just rinse this off. That's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna rinse it off, but we will agitate. We'll go back in there and agitate it and clean it, but you'll see that in the rest of the process. So we're gonna get started. That already gets the majority of this wheel and tire clean. It's amazing. So it's kind of like a pre-cleaning. You could choose to do that, or you can just spray it on when you're cleaning the vehicle.
Oh, that's fine.
Morning. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think there is one by it already.
Don't put those in the video.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at this. Washing and deconning is done, and at least the sun is out. It warms things up a little bit. So everything is now dry as much as possible. We blow dry everything because when you get to polishing, you don't want to be polishing a panel and it vibrates and water comes out, and especially with coating, that can be really frustrating. So we're going to do the interior next while it's out here because we can start the vehicle, and we did do the engine, but not really much to show in there. This thing does have a really nice Corvette engine. It's crazy rumbly, and it runs on ethanol. It must have some sort of a special kit in it. And we're going to do the interior now because it's really not that bad. Get that all done, allow some stuff to dry, and then we'll be able to pull it in. But let me show you what this thing sounds like. Yeah. Man, that's loud. It's pulled in, it's dry. Let's examine. You can already see. Oh, that's bad. Ugh. Yeah. Meh. Oh, good. No pillars. Ugh. Meh. Ugh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And of course, we have damage on this. Who knows? They might want to repair that later, but it's in for the new car prep anyway, and coating, so yeah, we're just going to coat right over it. Ugh. Eeh. All right, what are we going to use? Our usual Lake Country Orange NSP 45, because we don't want to deal with a wipe down that skips a step. We don't have to use a panel wipe with the NSP polishes. before we coat. So let's give this a try and see how it works. Oh. So we are dealing with some heavy scratches here, which this vehicle has its fair share of defects, really bad. I haven't polished here yet, so just did this section. You can see a little bit of residue. That's just from the NSP polish. That'll go away after we coat it. Yeah, you can see the big difference. That to that. And that is just residual. That's just hazing. It's not even hazing, it's just residue from the polish. So that will go away. How far are we going to go on this? As far as we deem with our communication with the customer. He's not expecting perfection, but he definitely wants this thing glossed up, looking its best for what it is. Ooh, it's got some weird defects here. That's just residue. That'll go away. This is exactly what the customer wants, and we're getting the results that we want. So, yep, very happy with that. Let's move on. Let's continue polishing and make this thing look awesome. So we're making our way around the vehicle, and we were using the NSP 45, and then we bumped it up to the 95.
Oh, this is so much better.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So a lot of this paint has been repainted. The whole hood, the fenders, and we're thinking the whole thing may have been re-clear coated because the NSP polish is reacting a little weird on it. And yeah, it is just giving us some issues with the wipe off. It's really, really difficult to wipe off. And it's just kind of being annoying. So sometimes that just happens with vehicles. We have no idea with this vehicle. You know, I definitely know portions of it have been repainted, but you don't know what type of clear coat they use. So we just switched over to the Kosh Chemi Fine Cut, and that's wiping off better. Is it cutting better?
About the same.
About the same? Okay. But look, way better than it was. Just there's just a little bit of residue from the NSP polish still here. But look at it over here. This is what it used to look like. Ugh. Yeah. That's a mess. And now over here where she polished, oh, much better. Yeah. So this is turning out really good now. So from that horrible mess to that. And again, a little bit of residue from the NSP still, but that will wipe off. All right, so sometimes you just have to switch things up. Even though the NSP was cutting nicely, again, it's just the wipe off and it just takes longer to work around the vehicle. So that's what I'm going to do too. I'm going to switch over to the fine cut, and I guess we'll just have to do a very light panel wipe after, which should be okay. This doesn't seem to be super soft paint. It's actually like medium-ish paint. So yeah, and I'll explain that in later videos, what I mean by soft or hard paint or medium paint. Some people who are beginning polishing don't really understand those terms, but I'll explain it later. Check out our detailing workshop channel as well. I'll link it down below or put it up in the card because I will be explaining a lot of those commonly used terms and things that we say a lot in videos and a lot of detailers say that just need some explaining because some people don't know what those terms mean. You can tell here the grill was plasti dipped and it's just peeling a little bit. So not much we can do about that. And the back emblem here also was plasti dipped and kind of coming apart here. Well, not really peeling, but just badly done. Or that could have been painted actually, just with the black flat paint. Not really fond of that. Well, the caddy is pretty much all polished, and it is looking fantastic. We had to switch up along the way with a few different polishes. And I know I'm only doing this just because, you know, I was playing around with different polishes and seeing what we could accomplish. Usually that's done with our test spot, and the NSP polish seemed to be good, but the more we worked with it along the panels, it was getting to be annoying to wipe off. But that's just on this particular paint. We switched over to Kosh Chemi, and that was working great. And then on my side, I just switched over to the Hybrid Solutions One and Done compound. Both this and the Kosh Chemi were comparable to me. It actually cut well, it finished well. The wipe off on the One and Done compound, a little bit more smeary in the Kosh Chemi. But again, not a big deal, just multiple microfibers. We are going to have to do an IPA panel wipe on this, but I'll show you how we do that. But as we look around the paint, again, mind you, there might be some deeper defects that we're not going to go with, you know, removing completely. Just a little bit of residue still, you know, a little wipe off. But man, this thing was trashed and it looks much better now. And look, huge dent there, dent there. Yeah, we're not working with a beauty queen here. We're working with, I don't know, a vehicle that's has some age on it. It's seen some hard times. It's seen some hard times.
Been on the streets.
It's been on the streets. Yeah, it's had a rough life. Look, it looks way better. And I actually cut on this heavier. And with this light, it doesn't look that great, I know. But to the naked eye, it looks much, much better. There's a little bit of hazing. See that? You know what? I'm actually going to go over this with the orange pad. I went over it with the microfiber really quick, and then with a black pad, but I don't think the black pad had enough bite to finish down. So I'm going to redo this just with the orange pad. That seems to be the sweet spot. Major improvement. Major improvement. Remember what it looked like before. Wifey is going over some of the plastics. There's like uncoated carbon fiber down here that somebody went over with compound or wax, so we're trying to remove that. Isn't it interesting? On our channel here, with our business, we deal with all sorts of cars. Daily drivers that are kind of busted and beat up, to beautiful, newer Ferraris that are almost perfect. And then we have cars like this that are kind of in the middle. It's a pretty awesome vehicle, but it's got a lot of wear and tear. And it's a 2011, so yeah, it's got some age. Oh, we're also going to do coatings on the interior, so leather and plastic interior coatings. We'll use the Naziol products, their Leather Boost and their Cabin Shine. We've already used these products before. Don't get fooled by the Cabin Shine. It's not super shiny at all. It's actually a natural shine finish. So we'll use those for the interior. Oh yeah, much better, much better. So with the paint finished, I'm going to polish the windshield. So I've had the, I think they're the Lake Country felt pads, and these are the rayon, which felt, rayon, they feel exactly the same. But they're basically designed for glass polishing. So this is what we use to prep the windshield. You can use it on the rest of the glass, but especially the windshield, because I'm going to be putting a ceramic coating on the windshield. The rest of the glass, I do like a spray ceramic coating because it gets less wear and tear and it lasts much longer on the rest of the glass, where the windshield, you have abrasion, of course. So we're going to use this pad, and the red side is the Velcro pad, not the other way around, so that's what goes onto the polisher. And we're going to be using the G-Technic G4 glass polish. You can use Ceraglass from CarPro, that's great. You can use Clarity Cream from P&S. I just chose this one today, and I'm going to be applying, the G5 ceramic sealant that goes on the windshield. So not their G1 coating, that's like an upgrade if they want, but this is going to be a ceramic sealant. So that usually gets 6+ months on the windshield. So that's what we're going to apply. This stuff is super watery. You don't have to apply a ton of it. So basically, I'm just going to dribble just a few little dots here onto the pad, because a little bit goes a long way, and just a few passes. You don't have to like polish the glass like you're polishing the paint. Just a few even passes, it'll clean it up. Then you want to use a strong glass cleaner or panel prep or isopropyl alcohol wipe for the glass. It'll clean the pores, get all the stuff out of it, and it'll be ready for a coating. And stay away from the edges with that polisher, that pad, because it is very aggressive. You can tape up your edges if you want, but I just stay about an inch away from them, and then just go back in with a little applicator like this and clean up the edges all the way up to the rubber and to the paint line here, and cleans up the edges really nice. So I'm going to use the panel wipe from G-Technic. I don't really use this on the paint. It's just way too harsh, I've found. But for the glass, it's perfect. There. It's perfectly clean and prepped all the way to the edges. Any of the nasty road gunk that collects in the bottom portions of your glass, all gone. Nice and cleared up. Nice. All right. Now I'll do the other side, and then it'll be ready. All right. We're going to use G5. It's a cream formula, so I'm going to apply it with the polisher, the black pad. I found it works really well this way. So here's how I do this. You don't have to put too much of this stuff. Just a little bit goes a long way. Something like that for half the glass. And then I put it on speed like 4, very slow. And I work it into the glass just a little bit more than usual, than doing it by hand. You have more control with this, it spreads it out thinner, more evenly, and you get a better result with that. So that's how I apply that stuff. Go, 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 shorty, it's your birthday. I don't know why that's in my head. Gonna sip a Bacardi like it's your birthday. I don't know why. Don't know why. Don't know why. Don't know why. Oh. Oh. Don't know why I'm doing Michael Jackson. Just kind of came out that way.
You've officially lost your mind.
Yes, I have. None whatsoever.
So we're going to use the Meguiar's Surface Prep as a panel wipe. I have found this one to be one of the best, and best for me, panel wipes because it's gentle. I feel that it's gentle. It's not harsh like the G-Technic panel wipe. And for weird paint like this, it's on the medium to hard side. I wouldn't say it's soft, but you never know. Sometimes it can be weird and leave weird marks or something. Even if you use the fluffiest towel in the world. I'm using the Kirkland towels. I washed this package. The towels are nice and soft. They're great. I'm going to use them for coating removal also. So it's not the towel, because I've used fluffy towels before, super plush fluffy towels, and those actually leave lint. It drives me nuts. These don't, and they're great. And I've had blue fluffy towels actually drag across the paint and leave towel swiping marks also. So no, not a believer in using the plushest, fluffiest towels, whatever. You use what works for you. This works great for us. With this stuff, I do not douse it on the paint. I mist it onto the towel, like so. That's enough to do this panel right here. Gently apply it, no pressure at all. Just wipe the entire surface. Make sure it's getting full coverage. Flip your towel. Gently wipe away any residual. and it flashes away, and you're left with a nice, clean, prepped surface ready to go. I don't see any issues with the paint, it being kind of crappy anyway, but other than that, yeah, it looks good now.
Open the door.
Okay. Oh, poop, I forgot to polish the bottom portion over there.
Oh, you are.
I am a stupid giddy goat.
Here.
Yep, applicators, the
It's like a
caddies.
surgeon's kit here.
I know, it's cool. Hypodermic needles for drugs. 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 How did you get in here? Drugs. Paint is now prepped, ready to go. We're going to apply G-Technic EXO V4. One layer of this will get you up to 2 years. Yep, we've seen it. We've actually seen it with the older V2 and V3 versions of this when we first started doing coatings. This stuff is phenomenal. Is it going to be a hardy base layer like Crystal Serum Light or Ultra? No, not necessarily, but you know, that's not really what the customer is paying for. They want a ceramic coating to add the gloss. They want the protection to be there, and protection meaning UV protection. No coating is going to be scratch resistant and all that. It's just ridiculous. So what we do is we sell coatings as the protection feature of the coatings. That's really the most important part, and the ease of maintenance. This stuff is amazing. Once it's applied and cured and everything, the maintenance on this is super simple. So here's how we apply it. As usual, if you're not already used to our application method, little blue microfiber applicators, perfect for this stuff. And then our towels will show you the wiping. We're also very used to these coatings. We apply in larger than usual sections because we're so used to them. We know how they react. So you'll see that I'll be doing probably a quarter of this hood, not half, but a quarter, and full doors and full fenders because we're just so used to it. So here's how we apply it. I apply a little bit more than usual in the first application to kind of prime the pad. I'm going to butterfly it. It kind of evenly applies it across the pad. And I'll do kind of like a box here that I'll do an X in the box. And that kind of spreads the product out. I can see it clearly going onto the paint very easily. And just cross hatch it all the way, get even coverage, let it sit for about 30 plus seconds. I can start to kind of see it do a weird separation. It doesn't quite separate like Crystal Serum Light does, but as long as it's on here 30 to 60 seconds, then you're fine. You don't have to let it sit on here for any longer than a minute or two. That's too long, I think. Up to 60 seconds, which it's almost been about 60 seconds now, and it will start to do a weird separation thing. You'll see it. And once it starts to do that evenly, then you can start to level it and wipe it down. We'll show you that in just a second. Good. And once you see that, go ahead, take your first towel and wipe. And you can do circular motions. That's totally fine. Just make sure to hit the whole area. That's first towel. Second towel. Go over the area again and make sure to overlap. And you will see that it flashes away very easily. Make sure to go around these little weird things here, they're not weird things, the windshield washer fluid little areas. And you will also need your light just to make sure that you're getting everything all the way up to the edges. You don't want to see any, distinct lines or smudges or anything like that. Go over the area really well. You don't have to apply pressure, just go over the area. That's it. It looks great. Wow. So now that the pad has got enough coating on it, just a little bit, not too much, butterfly it. And once again, this is how we apply it. We kind of box it out, and I'll kind of go in an X pattern just to spread the product and then do crosshatch. You can see it clearly going onto the paint. Just make sure to get 100% coverage. And you can overlap a little bit, that's fine. Hello, this is Phil with Miranda Detailing. So it's had enough time on here, I can see it starting to separate. Same thing as before. Go ahead and wipe the majority of it with the first towel. Second towel, go in and go around the perimeter. And make sure that you are not pushing it into other areas or missing any areas. Get into the little grooves. And have your light. Double check. Man, it is looking so good. So, very easy to apply. So guys, don't be afraid of ceramic coatings. They're really not that scary to apply. When I first started using ceramic coatings and applying them, yeah, I was nervous and I didn't know what to expect. But the more you use them, the more you get used to them, then you really begin to enjoy the process. Because once you're done all around the vehicle, you're done. Let it cure. And the next day you can put a topper on it, like we'll put C2V3 on top of it, and it's going to be golden. Just tell the customer, do not wash it for 7 days. After that, then you can wash it. Opt into maintenance programs if you can. Have the customer do that. That's really the best way of ensuring that you get the best durability out of your coating, because we will take care of it, making sure that it's good to go. But yeah, guys, give it a try. XOV4 is super easy to use. CarPro C-Quartz is easy to use. The Geon coatings are easy to use. Crystal Serum Light from G-Technic is amazing. I actually think it's easier than this coating. You can put Crystal Serum Light and then put XO on top of it. You can do that if you so choose. But get into coatings, guys. It's an awesome, profitable, means for your business, and just awesome stuff. I love it. So last thing to do, this cowl here, we're going to coat with the Apex trim coating. So I still have a little bit of this left, and I'll be able to do this and probably some other pieces, but this is the last thing that we have to do on this. The paint is done, glass is done, so let's get to coating that. I have the little pipettes here, and I use this little applicator. It's actually a G-Technic applicator. So just a little bit was applied onto here. A little bit goes a long way with this stuff. And if you get it onto the glass, not a problem. The glass is coated already. I'll just wipe it off. Shouldn't have any issues with the paint because it doesn't really bump up to the paint, so that's good. But I always treat the cowl with a coating like this. It just it makes it last so much longer. I see a lot of guys just put dressings on these. I think coating them is just way better. And I mean with these types of jobs, not just all the time. But, you can add that as an extra service for any of your details. Just, you can do plastic coatings and instead of dressings, and they last so much longer. It's so much better. And you can also coat the little arms. I get asked about that, and this is what I do. I just coat the little wiper arms, and it does a great job of restoring them and protecting them. So yeah, you can go over it with a trim coating or regular paint coating also. But since I'm here with the trim, I'll just hit it with the trim coating. So I'll just go back over it, wipe it off the glass, not a problem. Wipe it off the trim also to kind of even it out. And this isn't a shiny type of coating, I've noticed. It's more of a natural finish. Even on the arms here, it's more of a natural finish, which is great. I think a lot of people like that. As opposed to C4 trim from G-Technic, it's a teeny bit glossier. I think both work equally well. So the caddy is done, looking beautiful. So just finished up the trim, wiped down the glass here. So if there is a little bit of smearing from the glass coating, not a big deal. I just keep wiping it down. And sometimes the next day, a little bit of the smearing comes back. The next day, I will just use a little bit of C2V3 and wipe the windshield down with that, and you're golden, good to go. I'm gonna wipe this down. I'm gonna top it with C2V3 tomorrow once it's initially cured, and we'll be good to go. So interior is looking great. Wifey went around and coated all of the plastic and leather inside. And where are, oh yeah, mats are over here. We'll put those in tomorrow. So that's looking great. All of the plastic trim here was coated. She used C4 trim restore from G-Technic, so that's looking great. Wheels and tires, oh yeah, she's looking awesome. I mean, for what it is. Don't look too closely, guys. It's got a lot of defects on it. This didn't come in for full paint correction or restoration or anything like that. We do a lot of daily drivers, and even on nicer cars, our customers are not looking for perfection. In fact, most customers are not looking for perfection. We've done maybe 2 or 3 full paint corrections this year alone, and that's just because customers requested it. And even though I tried to kind of talk them out of it and ask them questions and say, hey, as a daily driver, do you want to go paint enhancement instead? And basically they say, no, I want to go full correction, get it as good as you can. So cool, no problem, we'll do that upon request. But the majority of our details are these. Daily drivers, we get them 50 to 75%. Customer is super happy about that. They do not complain whatsoever. We do not get complaints. The only complaints we get are from some viewers, which is kind of silly because they don't have a say in this. We have the say and our customers have a say. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today's episode. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. If you're interested in any of the tools or the products that we use today, definitely check out the links in the description. Hopefully tomorrow will be sunny and we'll get some sun shots. If not, I'll get some shots in here and you can enjoy those in just a few seconds. And don't forget to subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss stuff. And we'll see you in the next one. Have a great week. Take care.